Hello to everyone. Welcome to Connect On Air, the new platform where you can watch all the live events and also watch later on those content through the platform, through on demand. I have the pleasure to be this morning with Bob Shennan and Siobhan Kenny. Bob Shennan, you just talked about battle competition. What is your vision about listening and how to secure UK's radio future? Is BBC Sounds the answer?
BBC Sounds is a very important part of the answer, but so too is a really innovative, refreshed linear radio offer. We are in a position of strength. We have in the UK, between commercial sector and the BBC, nearly 9 in 10 people listening to what we do every single week, and they're listening to linear radio. Our challenge is that fewer and fewer younger people are finding the habit of listening to linear radio, and we know that their attention is distracted now by the impact of streaming services, the global internet giants, the consumption on mobile phones, and therefore there's a huge amount of listening going on. It's just not all to our radio businesses. So the launch of BBC Sounds as a IP destination for radio, podcasts and music is an attempt for us to put our brand values in an IP space and serve people audio. We're in a strong place, but we need to do more, as everybody does.
So how important is DAB and DAB Plus in BBC Sounds scope? And is there a need of FM switch off or announcing a date, and could it help anything?
Well, I think the combined commercial radio and BBC position is that at the moment we're in a healthy position because we have a multi-platform approach to our audiences. We need to be everywhere where our audiences want to consume our content. We can't take any of them for granted. And in terms of DAB, it's an incredibly important part of our strategy going forward. It's been something that we've invested in for the 20 years or more across the UK. We've seen the benefits of that both for commercial sector and the BBC. We've seen huge numbers of audiences come to our services. The BBC is now broadcasting to more people with its national radio stations today than it was 10 years ago, and that's because of the development of opportunities to listen in DAB. So it remains the spine of our offer, but it's part of a multi-platform offer that includes FM and it includes IP.
Siobhan Kenny, is cooperation, you talked about cooperation and how important it was between the private and public sector a key to success? And give me a concrete example of how you cooperate. Maybe you could give some ideas to some other countries.
Happy to, yeah. Collaboration, of course, is very key to what we do. We're a small industry. I think we've mentioned that several times. And in this increasingly globalized world, unless we can get together, not just in the UK, but across the whole of Europe, by the way, I don't think that we're going to have a healthy future together. So for me, it's absolutely critical. As Bob says, 9 out of 10 people still listening to UK radio, linear radio and DAB. That's really good news for us. But we don't sit on our laurels. I think Radio Player is a really great example of our collaboration together. It started in a way between the UK, between the BBC and the commercial sector, as a way of trying to get all our radio through one app. Now look how we've moved on in the 7 years since then. We're across Europe, we're going increasingly international. We need to have an international offer to go to car manufacturers in particular and say, this is the way that radio can stay prominent in your car and look great, because it's what listeners want, actually.
So for you, Radio Player is a solution for the in-car industry, and is it also because we talked about the fact that car manufacturers are working on their own way of doing sound inside of the cars. aren't they doing the same mistake with those HBB TV and the connected TV and the TV manufacturers that wanted to launch their own brands? I mean, is Radio Player a solution for in-car manufacturer?
I believe that instead of looking at themselves, if they looked at what their consumers want, that is, they'd exactly go down the Radio Player route. It makes no sense to me to say we're going to have a walled garden that is Volkswagen radio. That way lies madness, I think.
Yeah, and we heard that Renault is also working on their audio ID for the in-car reception. Why is WorldDAB important to you?
It's probably more important now than ever before because we have a gathering of the decision makers in European radio. And what matters most is what the agenda is, and that we tackle some of these big macro issues together. I don't want to create a sense of complete motherhood and apple pie because I know that's not the real world. And Siobhan and I can disagree about lots and lots of things, and we will. But we are well aware of the fact that a healthy UK radio sector requires us both to be flourishing in that sector. A healthy European radio sector requires all of us to be flourishing. I think we start from a position of great strength. We need to innovate, we need to collaborate, and we need to commit to joint endeavour so that we protect the incredible value of radio in our different nations for the next generation.
And the last question, the tricky question, very short. We are talking sound and not radio anymore. Is that the new name of radio?
I really don't think it's material what it's called. It's sound, it's audio, it's radio. It's a way of joining people together in a joint experience. That's the important thing for me.
I'm with Siobhan. Sounds is a brand name for something that is a collection of different forms of audio. It's about listening. Radio and the incredible visceral impact it has on human beings is going to be an incredibly important part of our listening experience for years to come.
Thank you very much for watching on Connect on Air. You can, of course, come back and check out this video later on demand. And see you later. Thank you very much.